Hello and welcome to Draw the Trigger, or as we say around here, good day internet people. This is a video basically for the beginners, the newbies, and people who've looked at Vanguard and haven't really had a chance to look at it properly yet. This isn't going to be going in depth into the rules, or if you've been playing for a while, there's nothing new for you in here, so you don't need to watch this video necessarily. This one is for people who've been maybe having a passing interest, or you just saw it and thought, I wonder what this is. So, Cardfight Vanguard is a two-player card game where you build a deck from cards that are available from a quite large pool of cards, and you battle it out in order to deal 6 damage points to your opponent to win a game. That's basically the ultimate gist of the game. And the cards are basically made in Japan. Well, they're made in Malaysia, but they're designed in Japan and stuff. And they all come on, little bit of card. Very similar to Pokemon cards or Magic the Gathering cards. You've probably seen trading cards like this before. This shouldn't be anything particularly new, but if you haven't seen them before, that's basically what a Vanguard card looks like, and this is what they look like on the back. So, the easiest and absolute, probably the best way to get into the game is for you and a friend to buy yourselves a trial deck each. Trial decks come in a box that looks a lot like this one, although this one's empty. And you can see this one is Trial Deck 02 Toshiki Kai. At the time of filming this video, we are on the verge of the release of the 4th trial deck, which is for the Shadow Paladin clan. And each trial deck does feature one of the main Vanguard clans, and all of the cards in that deck are from the same clan. You can think of a clan as a faction. So if you say this clan here, for example, all of the cards in this are from the Kagero clan, which is basically a clan of fire-breathing dragons and knights. It's all like fire-based and dragon-based, and it's all very cool. It's part of the Dragon Empire. So all the cards that you get in the trial deck make a cohesive deck that you can shuffle and play with straight out of the box. And if you and a friend each buy one of these, then you can guarantee that's all you need to buy. You can just open your decks up, get shuffling, and you can start playing. Obviously you need to learn the rules as you go, but that is it. And these retail in the UK. You should get one of these for between £10 to £13 on average. Now, the one thing that you want to be aware of is that although I say there's 4 available, there's actually technically a lot more trial decks, but there's 4 from the current format of Vanguard. So you're looking for ones that have got the logo that looks like this, and the ones which have a named trial deck. So it'll say trial deck 01 through to 04 at the moment, and it'll have a character's name in the Japanese name of the character, because they don't have an English name particularly, and the picture of them there, and they look like this. I don't know if there's any other kind of way you can identify which format these are from, but basically, if you want to get into the game, the easiest format to get into is Standard, which is a format which started in about June this year in English, end of June I think it was. So it's a relatively new format. There's not a massive card pool for this format, unlike the previous format, which is a card pool that goes all the way back to 2012, where there's literally hundreds of cards for every single clan, and it can be quite a thing to try and build a deck for that format. That's like your legacy format where everything goes. This is a more restrictive format with a much smaller card pool, and it's a lot easier for new players. So I would very much suggest picking up one of these new trial decks. Inside one of these trial decks, what you will find is you get a 50 card deck. They don't come sleeved, we've sleeved these afterwards. And you will also get some of these, which are little counters, which are used to track bonuses that you can apply to your cards during the course of a game, or it can be things like the things that go into your hand as well while you play the game. You'll find that out as you look into the rule set a little bit more. That's a little bit more beyond what you need to know straight away. So you've got this is the deck that comes in this box. So this is the 50 card set. The boss card, as it were, for this set is Dragonic Overlord. So you can see you get a foil version. It's actually 2 foil versions of him and 2 non-foils in the box. So these starter decks are actually really good. Unlike the starter decks for something like Pokemon or Magic the Gathering, these are actually extremely playable straight out of the box. So you've got all your units there, and that's what they're called. Each card is called a unit. There's no spell cards or trap cards. There's nothing kind of to overcomplicate the game. Everything that you can play down is a monster that can hit the field, basically, and you don't have to worry about cards that do anything else, like hide away or what timing you can use on things. It's not quite that complicated. So it's quite an accessible card game, let's put it that way. So once you've got a trial deck, you and a friend, you've had a few games, you've used the rules that you get in the start deck. This is the little start deck rules pack. I'll just quickly show you that while I'm thinking about it. I probably should have scripted this video out, but that's the first guide. This is your absolute most basic how to start playing. There's the map of how a card is laid out, how the battlefield is laid out, the turn structure, the attack step. All of the basic turn flow is in this nice little brochure. There is a more comprehensive rule set online if you wish to go into that, and obviously you do get a fold out playmat in the starter deck box as well, so you can kind of lay that out, so you don't have to worry about where your cards go, because it'll make it easy on the playmat. So yeah, so you've got your deck, you've played a few games, and you think, I want to make my deck better. Where do I go from here? And that's where you go into booster sets. Booster sets are sets like this, where you get packs of random cards. Each of these at the moment contains 7 random cards, of which 2 are guaranteed to be a rare or higher. So there will always be at least 1 rare card in the pack, and there'll often be 2 rares. Sometimes there'll be cards which are higher rarity. And you can find out which clans or factions are in a set by looking at the pack. And you can see this particular set, this is the set known as Unite Team Q4 Booster Pack 01. And this contains the clans Royal Paladin, Kagero, Oracle Think Tank, and Nova Grappler. The other 2 sets that are out at the time of filming, there's the Destructive Roar, which contains 3 clans, Spike Brothers, Tachikaze, and Mega Colony. And there is Champions of the Asia Circuit, which is an extra booster, and that set contains Aquaforce, Dimension Police, and Gran Blue clans. So what you'll see is that you don't want to just buy booster packs willy-nilly if you don't necessarily plan on building that particular clan as a deck. For example, if you're building this particular clan here, Kagero, this set is good for you. These will be useless because they won't have any cards that will benefit this particular deck. So it's important to note which set is appropriate for your particular clan, and only buy cards from that set, unless you want to expand out and build other clans in the future, which you probably will want to do. But while you're just trying to beef up your trial deck or start a clan from fresh, you want to stick to one set, while that set is the only one that contains that particular clan. Hopefully that makes sense. So basically you can buy these by the single pack, and these retail for about £3 a pack, or you can buy them by the box, where you get how many is it, 16 packs to a box, and that tends to be £40 to £45 for a box. So you do make a little bit of a saving by doing it that way. And there are certain guarantees, like every box will contain one of the cover cards, one of the big boss cards, absolutely guaranteed to happen in a box display. So that's probably, if you've got the budget, a pretty good way of doing it. If you don't want to crack packs and you don't particularly like the random aspect, you can buy the cards individually to improve your deck, in which case you can go onto websites such as TCG Player if you're in the USA, or Big Orbit Cards or Chaos Cards if you're in the UK, and I'm sure there's plenty of other sellers around the world, including eBay, of course. Those are all good places to look at buying your cards. If you're buying on an auction site, just make sure you check the feedback of the people you're buying from. Check that the cards are genuine if you can, because there are still cases where people make pirate copies of bootleg cards and stuff, and You don't want those. You want the official things. So yeah, so there's multiple ways you can go about actually building the decks. You do have quite a lot of options. There's loads and loads of cards available for each clan. Sometimes you'll look at a card and think, I don't want to run that card, that doesn't fit with my image for how I want to play this deck. And yeah, so you kind of just want to build your deck how you want it to be. There's a lot of people out there who do deck profiles, our own channel. You can click in the playlists and see our deck profiles, which is basically where we go through the deck card by card and explain why we use certain cards, how they work with each other. But if you want to do it a little bit more specifically, you can kind of search out the whole internet. There's people who build every single clan out there. There's multiple builds for each clan. Or you can just wing it. You can make it yourself. Just experiment, try cards out, see what works, see what doesn't. That's a great way to learn how the game actually works. If you just go by other people's deck builds all the time, then you might not really learn what makes a great deck. So I would very much recommend that you do take the time to just put a little bit of thought into your deck. Make it your own. That's one of the great things about these kind of collectible card games. You can make the card and the deck your own. So yeah, that's the easiest way to get started playing Cardfight Vanguard. Would strongly recommend picking up trial decks. Like I say, between you and a friend, you can spend £12 or £13 each, and you're in the game basically. And then from there, if you want to build an absolute belter of a deck for this format, you're looking at between £80 to £150 all in if you buy single cards specifically from the resellers. So yeah, that's that. I hope this was useful for you. If you have any questions or you'd like to see any specific videos in the future, please post down below. If you want to know perhaps something about the different clans, or if you would like a video about how you actually go about building a deck in general, not necessarily a specific one, but just general deck building tips, please let us know in the comments down below. We can certainly have a look at doing that kind of video for you as well. Hope you enjoyed this one, and welcome to Cardfight Vanguard. Hope you enjoy your time with the game, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. Please give us a subscribe and a like, as always, and see you again later. Bye, Internet people.